is on. So our home is also on the Zoom, happily with you all. And Narottam Nitai Prabhu, happy to see you from the beginning of our talk today. You have the opportunity, but you're driving also. You're driving or you're outside? Outside, okay. I think we have a question for you in my notes, which is from a week or two maybe ago. So good to see you and good to see everybody. Let us begin with our mini Vandana. We want to start in an auspicious way. So we'll start and then let us continue our program. Vande ham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurataje Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Shri Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Govinda Govinda Govinda. Welcome one and all. And Ganga Leela, by the other name of Arati Lane, she's clapping. So I think she's chanting.
That's my pranam hands. Namaskar.
Oh, your pranam hands. Anyhow, they reminded us of Sankirtan, or reminded me of Sankirtan. So that's also very auspicious. They were clapping in time with probably Narottam Das Thakur's Sankirtan, because everyone's been singing his songs during this last 24 hours. But somehow in the world, our 24 hours last probably 48 hours, because it starts in the far east and ends in the far west. Yes, Krishna Priya Devidasi, 2 hands on the wheel, watch the road, drive carefully. My dandavat to you and to Paramanand Prabhu and to some passenger in the back, Ram Sundar Prabhu, in the back of the car. And you're traveling on the Supata, the pure path of Bhakti, in a BMW. Very good. Shri Krishna. And where's Priyanana? She's translating. No, she's just a flower. In Russia, they have the humble Lada, as well as in Moscow. They've got BMW and many things too. Hare Krishna. So whether we are in the east or the west, or in a BMW or in a Lada, we've come together somehow mystically on Zoom. And Narottam Nitai Prabhu he's in his car now. Yeah, Narottam Nitai Prabhu is in his car in the evening in Detroit or somewhere nearby, in rainy, perhaps, USA. So we do have a question from you, Narottam Prabhu, from a little while ago. I just need to look in my notes, and you may or may not remember your own question. I'm not sure. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityan. Oh, Narottam Nitai Prabhu. Yes, I have from the 4th of February. Ooh, a few days ago. Maharaj, if we are taking to the process, how could we avoid the tendency to see political problems and trends in the world, especially when it comes to things dear to us? and actually use that to go deeper into our sadhana, bhajan, reading, bhakti, etc. So how can we avoid the tendency to see political problems and trends in the world, especially when it comes to something dear to us, and actually use that to go deeper into our sadhana, bhajan, reading, bhakti, etc. Okay, so, excuse me. One of the first things that comes to mind, excuse me, one second. Okay. One of the first things that comes to mind is that in the Shikshastakam prayers, the songs of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur that he composed in relation to the Shikshastakam prayers, then there is one verse which says, let me love the spiritual path, the spiritual things. Let me love you, the Lord, as much as I now love the material things, Maya, the things of this world. So when we recognize we have some particular attraction here and some focus to some part of the mundane plane, whatever it may be, like you're saying, political and other agendas, and so you can say some of the things that people do in the world, they have a good a feeling of goodness, a feeling that you're doing good to others, relieving pain, perhaps, whatever it may be. But in this world, we may be passionate about something, but we should see that if I'm passionate about a particular department of altruistic work in this world, we really should be using that similar passion and that similar dedication to that cause. We should transfer that from our material plane to the spiritual plane. And that doesn't mean like a whole change of everything, except of our direction of use of energy. So we will try to give our energy in service to the Vaishnavas, the guidance of the Vaishnavas, in service to the cause of Mahaprabhu, who has come, in one sense, as the perfect Vaishnava. And so our passions in this world, our interests in this world, we'll try to dovetail them into Krishna consciousness, or depending on what it is, because some of the things in this world, are quite, even in the short term, useless in the terms of, we know people, devotees, who are like very passionate stamp collectors, and they have their whole society of stamp collection. And I mean, it's obviously very interesting, and they get very involved, and they know all the intricacies of the stamps that were printed the wrong way around in 1834, and so they now fetch this amount of money. And not just about the money, just having those rare stamps. But we can say really doesn't have a lot of value, but it's something that we're putting our mind into here. But political items that you mentioned, political problems and trends. Well, political problems and trends. There's only one real political problem or problem that politics should be going towards, and that is waking everybody up to Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, there are always wars somewhere in the world, whether they're on the headlines or whether the world's forgotten about them. There's always so many things in the political world that are going on. But without Krishna conscious, without Krishna at the center, to back any particular A or B or C or D, if it's not with Krishna at the center, then really it is futile. And what can we do? We have compassion for around us when we have something immediately around us where we can see we can relieve some suffering, but we'll try to do that in the mood of giving some Krishna consciousness to who we are relieving the suffering from. And Gurudev, for instance, Gurudev was not he was not hard-hearted, he was the softest-hearted. And Gurudev did give money to beggars. not a lot, but he would give, for instance, he would give money when they're begging and coming. They need some, they're coming for like their breakfast, basically. Gurudev would give them their breakfast money, not half a rupee or something. But he'd give them 10 rupees. And we've been with Gurudev when Gurudev has done like this, when it's like, genuinely, the sadhu is coming and he's coming, I need my breakfast. And I've been with him. And then the sadhu very happy. And he's not going then to other people to beg. He's going to have his breakfast. But Srila Gurudev, he recognizes like what's genuine request and what is what is just a business request, if you like. And so they are getting the mercy of the sadhu, and they're seeing it's Gurudev, and he's always there with his tilak and etc. So some Krishna consciousness, and that man will probably remember, Gurudev for all time. Still, oh, I met this sadhu, and his life will also change. But the politics of this world, probably best to say, stay aloof and use that tendency to do good for others, to support a good party, to support Krishna's party. And his party exists in the world by the grace of Gauranga, by the grace of the line of descending, the descending current of mercy. Nitai and Gauranga, Panchata, well, Radha Krishna and their associates, and then Nitai and Gauranga, their associates, and Radha Krishna and Nitai Gauranga's associates, who continue to come to this world to keep us on track, keep the faithful on track, and to bring us home. So my first thought really is to transfer our passion for some political party or doing some good in this world, the trends, to transfer that interest to Krishna's interest. Does that make sense to you? And it's good to be passionate about something, but about Krishna. And we see everything else, you can support all sorts of things, and then you can find out, later that, oh, it wasn't a good idea. Look who's taken over, look who's done this. The Buddhists, I don't know where they get their sayings from, whether they are from Buddha or not, but they do have some good sayings that we've seen. And some of them is, things apparently may look good, a good result has come from something in the world, but we'll wait, let us wait and see. I mean, that's Gurudev also, is wait and see, but this is a different context. So something good happens, apparently good, but we will see. And something bad happens, apparently bad. Oh, but we will see. And the Buddhist mood, like staying aloof from everything. But we should be a little aloof from the world because it is working by the perfect arrangement of nature. And we have been placed in a particular environment by the perfect arrangement of nature. So we need to face that environment, not in the mood of changing it in a mundane way. I mean, I don't want to say a particular, thing, stopping greenhouse gases or something like this. I mean, yes, it's a good thing to do, but we're in this situation. We are a visitor to this world. So we are looking and seeing, and we've come to Krishna consciousness. We have to see it in relation to our schooling, our being a student in Krishna consciousness, how to see everything with Krishna at the center. And so if I'm surrounded by all kinds of crazy things, or this needs addressing, this needs addressing, this needs addressing in the social system of the world, then Srila Guru Maharaj directly says it's not for us to try to change the environment. We have been put in this environment because of us, and we need to change our attitude, and then we will be put into another environment. So instead of being surrounded by a band of thieves who are legally or illegally trying to rob us, basically, instead of being surrounded by a band of thieves, then we'll be surrounded by a band of opposite of thieves, which is, what's an opposite of a thief? A giver. We'll be surrounded by well-wishers instead of thieves, instead of having to be suspicious of everyone. I mean, it depends even in this world what environment you live in. I mean, thankfully, we weren't brought up actually in an environment where we were suspicious of everybody. But sometimes we have been in an environment where we have to be careful what's going on around. But in the political world, you probably have to be a little suspicious of a lot of situations. Hare Krishna. Anyway, Krishna consciousness is everything. Every day we read wonderful things, and I was reading about devotion. Even we may look like we're doing devotion, but we have to always scrutinize ourselves that am I doing actual devotion or not? And the foundation is surrender, that like we are doing here. We're surrendering what is very valuable to us, our time. We're surrendering our time, we're surrendering our thoughts for doing Krishna conscious activities, instead of doing many unlimited other things that we could be doing with this 1 hour, for instance, that we could be doing with our 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever it is we do every day in our own programs at home. We're using that time, and we're trying to use this time to cultivate our Krishna consciousness and leave aside our political consciousness, in fact. The political side of the world will go on, with or without us. Or as one of our dear friends, devotee friends, says, the graveyard is full of indispensable people. That's us. We all think we're indispensable in this world, but the world is going to go on. And we need to see why we are here, do our proper duty, and get ourselves into a better place. It may sound selfish, but it's actually, a prisoner should want to get out of jail. Let's be realistic. Hardly the prisoner can be called selfish. If he wants to get out, he's found the way out, and he shares that with the other prisoners. What's the secret to get out of this place? It's hardly selfish, it's the opposite. It's sensible. I have a marker in a book, a physical book, my dear friends. I have a marker in here, but it's where I finished reading. It wasn't actually a marker to share with you. So, anyway, every page seemed to be the best, so it's a good marker. Oh, well, yes. Oh. Hare Krishna. Anyway, should I read something from Guru Maharaj? It's not actually a bookmark, but we do need some light on the book. Okay. A modern flashlight. Krishna Krishna. well, this almost fits into this question. There's no coincidences in this world. Srila Guru Maharaj saying, so many commodities. So first of all, Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai. And of course, saying Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. I think we all know where we've got our head, trying to keep our head and going on under their best ever nourishment. And so here it is a random reading in that sense, except every page is the best page. So Srila Guru Maharaj is saying here, so many commodities and so many tradesmen are approaching us. Jaimani, Bauda, Jaimani, Bauda Ayoye Dhaya. So Guru Maharaj is quoting there. And Tava Kai Nijamate, quote, everyone poses that they are coming to give the fullest satisfaction to me. With this posing, they are approaching. So this is other, various paths trying to give a solution to this world. Then Srila Guru Maharaj says, but these are cheaters. By Mukha Vanchane Bhataso Sabhav. So Srila Guru Maharaj is just being quoting. So, but these are cheaters. The inner home understanding will avoid them. Which is interesting. Guru Maharaj saying, the inner home understanding will avoid them. Our heart saying, I understand my home, so why will I go along that path? So, oh yes, so now Srila Guru Maharaj is like speaking for our inner home understanding, conscience, maybe, like that. Oh, you say that you will give the delivery that I'm searching for, but it is not so. Some kind of conscience, inner home. Guru Maharaj says it best. Inner home understanding. Okay. Then Vaimukha Vanchane. Only those that are determined not to go towards him, the Lord, this is capital H. So only those that are determined not to go towards him, these customers, these fellows, fall victim to those traders. So that's spiritual traders, what to speak with the political traders of this world. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I shall avoid them, durata dandavatta. I shall avoid them from a distance. I shall give respect to them. Yes, you are big men. Your commodities are also very good, but I do not want that. I want something else. Bhakata charana korisara. I have taken shelter at the lotus feet of the devotees as the essence of my life. I have got a special group who are inquiring after something, and I have taken admission into that party. I shall go that side to get Bhakata Charana, feet of the devotees. You all go away. I have nothing to do with you, no transaction with you. I respectfully detach from your proposals. This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And this is spiritual proposals, what to speak of the political, trying to offer some political solutions in this world. Then Srila Guru Maharaj saying, elimination and acceptance. That is the question of the inner heart. Such a certificate from the inner heart is necessary. So, when we know what is what, then we can help our inner heart to discriminate, and whether it's conscience, whether we want to technically call it something, but our inner home-seeking tendency must surely be looked at to see, am I doing something just to please others? Or am I doing something which is pleasing to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in this case, Guru Maharaj quoting from him? pleasing to the great masters who've come to try to rescue us from this world. So these are some thoughts about our political tendency, our wanting to do something, in this world to help things through. But we know some devotees are passionate about different departments of the world. It's okay, but don't forget Krishna. And one day, then also that whole tendency, you can think how much you dedicated in this particular department of the material world. And then you may even come to think, if only I'd given that dedication to Krishna and the devotees and to my focus on really being conscious of Krishna through the processes given by the scriptures and by the Lord, then if I'd given my energy for that, I wonder what result I would have got. Hare Krishna. Because it's promised, we'll get a very good result. And good association, where they will be trying to correct us, not us trying to correct the environment, but the environment, which is made up of consciousness, by the way, is there to correct us. And actually, it is that doing that now, if we can become conscious of Krishna and Krishna's affectionate hand behind everything. So this way, we will see that guru tendency, the tendency to bring me, to teach me, to bring me to Krishna, is coming from Krishna through the whole environment and through especially, of course, the Guru Varga, who we can refer to for the purity and how to see that the rainstorm, it's Krishna's hand for my benefit, how to see the different things that take place. Hare Krishna. I know we didn't lose him, but where's Paramananda Prabhu? I know we didn't lose him because he's got a good driver who knows the path that look, they got to the end of the path. They achieved their prayojana. They achieved their destination. And it looks like heaven. Did you go to heaven, Paramananda Prabhu?
Kind of, Maharaj. Went to the weekend market on the way.
On the way. On the way to the weekend market. Oh, yes. Well, good. You were on the right day.
Only things in there.
What?
There are lots of heavenly things in the weekend market.
But heaven is part of this world.
Mrityu Loka. Anyhow, Maharaj, you give perfect explanation, perfect answer for that question.
Well, I'm not sure that it will go in the category. I beg to differ. I'm not sure it's going to go in the category of perfect. But I'm sure more could be said.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur said it all. You just quoted him. In another bhajan, he's saying, give up all the worldly quarrels and strife and just serve the devotees of the Lord and chant the holy name. So the politics, they're also called Gramya Katha.
Yes.
Or Jada Katha, mundane talks. And in Krishna consciousness, when we join Krishna consciousness, the first thing, at least what I learned first, is that we're not the body, we're the soul. The second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that's what got me, the Atma Gyan. And that is actually a perfect foundation from where we can continue talking on that subject. Because if you understand your position as a soul, and your temporary position here as a conditioned soul situation, surrounded by a very temporary, in the temporary body, surrounded by a very temporary circumstances, then the answer comes naturally. Whatever you do, I mean, the politics, they're so, I mean, useless, pointless, that we don't, not only we shouldn't involve and discuss it, we shouldn't even think about it so much. And as soon, naturally, we're surrounded by the environment that forces us to think, the news channels, the newspapers, the people, the friends who talk about it, the things that are happening around us. So naturally, we're getting involved. But if we just remember that we're not this body, that false identification, when that memory comes to us, then we should be able to harmonize that and not to get into this useless, absolutely useless talks. That's why Maharaj, I kind of remember he used to say that the politics is the last shelter of the rascals. There is no good people in politics. So why should we discuss that? Why should we pay attention to that? First of all, there is nothing you can do about it. But like Bhaktivinoda Thakur was saying, I can have a respectful distance. I will give you respect, no problem. But I don't want to get involved and I don't want to be a part of that trade. So don't come to me, I don't need your product. I have what is dear to me. So you do what you want to do. Like Govinda Maharaj used to say, they may do as they like, but I will do what is pleasing to Guru Maharaj. I mean, really. And even if you discuss politics, it's absolutely useless from where you stand, because there's no change will come from that discussion. You're not going to change the politics of the village, a town, a country, a civilization. So that means since the very beginning it was useless. So we shouldn't be so much affected by that. Focus on Krishna consciousness, focus who you are. Remember, it's a very temporary situation you're in. The world is full of death and full of, the graveyard is full of indispensable people. All of that. It was a perfect answer. And instead, just sing another song by Narottam Das Thakur. And they're wonderful songs. That's what we did last night. A beautiful discussion. Remembering his pastime, singing his songs. Amazing. The embodiment of Krishna Prema. It said when he received Mahaprabhu's gift of Krishna Prema, his body changed, the body luster changed, it became golden. And some people say, he looked just like Mahaprabhu. He reminds them about Mahaprabhu from his bodily appearance. Anyhow, Maharaj, I'm not going to go in there.
And his mother didn't even recognize him when he changed color.
Yes.
And this
amazing,
just very briefly, so the devotees know this Leela. Mahaprabhu came to him in a dream. And remember that a year before he appeared, or no, not a year. Anyway, sorry, not a year, it was before that. Mahaprabhu would stand on the banks of the Padma River and call to the other side, "Oh, Narottam, Narottam." And Mahaprabhu's associates had no idea what Mahaprabhu was doing, but they accepted. You know, he acts a little mad sometimes in his Krishna Prema, so he's just calling Narottam, Narottam. But it's told that, but then later, just when Mahaprabhu departed, Narottam appeared. Means departed from his Leela in the world. Then Narottam took his birth. And Mahaprabhu came to Narottam Das Thakur in a dream when he was a few years old and said, I've deposited my Krishna Prema in the Padma River for you. Now it's ready. You go there now and bathe there, and that Krishna Prema from me will come to you. And when he went there very enthusiastically, bathed, when he came out, he changed color from regular Indian Bengali color to golden. So this is what Paramananda was referring to. A special personality. Yes, Paramananda.
the politics, he was surrounded by so many politics played against him, and he was absolutely undisturbed by that, focusing on what is the most important, chanting the holy names and preaching Krishna consciousness. There's this famous story, but okay, we can say, when it comes, some disturbance come to our guru, to the sadhu, then yes, we can participate in politics to protect the prestige and to protect our spiritual master, protect the devotees. And that's a good example we were remembering yesterday when that King Nara Singh was marching towards Keturi Gram to destroy Narottam Das Thakur with the army and the army of the Pandits who were ready to challenge him and destroy his reputation and possibly destroy his body too, and his followers. So two of his disciples, as news spread, two of his disciples, both were from very high Brahminical families. One was Ganganarayan Chakravarti Thakur, who was a direct disciple of Narottam Das Thakur, very aristocratic Brahmin. And another was the disciple of Srinivasacharya, Ramachandra Kaviraj, who was given to Narottam Das Thakur in his care, and they became good friends. So they came and said, Prabhu, they're coming. What shall we do? And Narottam Das Thakur, I'm not interested. I shall not do absolutely anything. I will engage in chanting of the holy names, Sankirtan. That I will do. But you, do as you wish. And they decided, well, there is a prestige of our guru, and he's, we have to protect him, physically protect him as well from all the harm that is to come. So they went and they went ahead to the camp of that whole army, pretending as two peddlers. One was selling clay pots, another was selling betel nuts ingredients. And those who are of Indian descent or been to India know what I'm talking about. Maharaj knows very well. It's not just the betel nut sellers. They sell, the green leaves, the white powder, a little spices, the betel nut itself. That's the whole thing. And as soon as the Brahmanas camp, they're looking for cooking. They like to eat, and they're looking for betel nuts to chew, to chill. So these two peddlers, dressed as simple peasants, came to the camp. And of course, the servants of the Brahmins, the Pandits, they approached them. And they're trying to buy something. But every time they asked something, they would get answer in perfect spoken Sanskrit, so high that they couldn't even communicate well. So they ran back to the camp and said, there's a very strange peddlers around here. They speak such a high Sanskrit, we couldn't even communicate, so we didn't buy anything. So can you help us? So they asked their gurus to go there. So those Pandits came. And they started talking to them, and again they failed. They couldn't really communicate well, and they were astonished too. So they called the chief pandit. And now, like if you're in India, again Maharaj knows well. If anything happens, there will be a crowd. Like in the seconds, there will be a crowd of people around the place where something happening. So the local people from the villages around, they started gathering because there was some color hall going on, and there was a big crowd of onlookers. The big pandit comes, and they're going into a discussion, and they're defeated by two peddlers. And then finally, they're totally defeated. And they're asking, who are you people? And they say, oh, we heard you guys are here, so we're decided to make some money, but actually we're just some lowly disciples of Narottam Das Thakur. You haven't seen his good disciples, we're just the third grade ones. And then they turned around, and as it described, the villagers were joking. They were laughing at them, saying, oh, Pandits, you came as lions, and now you're running as dogs with the tail between your legs, as they're running back to their camp. So they went to the king, and the chief Pandit said, we have to reconsider our politics here, our approach, because we just met with these two very low-class disciples of Narottam Das Thakur, whom we couldn't defeat. They spoke pure Sanskrit and excellent grammar. I'm unable to defeat them, so what shall we do? And a long story short, of course, with the help of Ma Kali who appeared in the dream of the Pandit and gave him a choice of your head on my neck, on the garland that decorates my neck, or your head is at the lotus feet of Narottam Das Thakur, your choice. So of course the choice was very simple. So he woke up and convinced the king, now we shall march to Narottam Das Thakur's camp in Kiturigram, and all of us shall take shelter of his lotus feet, which happened. So that politics, I can understand when the disciples involved in some politics in order to protect the prestige of the Sampradaya, prestige of their guru, prestige of the devotees and their well-being too. That we can happily get involved into. If we are qualified, we have to consider that point. Like when Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada went to Indian embassy to chastise the ambassador and the consul for delaying the visas for the devotees. He chastised him heavily. And the ambassador or consul, whoever was there, maybe Kumkum Didi knows the story better than me. Maybe she was there, who knows? He was just listening and taking it and apologizing to Srila Prabhupada. And then when Prabhupada left the embassy, he said, oh, maybe I was a little bit harsh with them. But I can do it. But if you do it, they will kick you out. So we have to be qualified to be involved on that level. So here Maharaj glorifying Narottam Thakur again and his followers.
Excellent example. Sorry, Prabhu, please carry on.
No, I was just saying we're glorifying the devotees and at the same time talking a little bit of, how to deal with the politics in a proper way.
And by the way, our questioner is Narottam Nitai Prabhu.
The best of all people.
Hare Krishna. So it's a sign, Narottam Nitai Prabhu. You have that name, and we have been brought to Narottam's directions in his exemplary behavior. He had nothing to do with politics. Means Narottam Thakur. From Narottam Das Thakur. I'm a Dasa. Okay, yes, but you're his Dasa. Narottam. Here's another. Narottam Nitai in the chat box saying, it reminds me of transforming lust to love or karma to bhakti. Hare Krishna. Yes, indeed. This very point, Prabhu. And just now, he put Das. I'm a Das. Okay. And if you're driving, please be careful about texting and driving. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Who are we with, Prabhu? Please make the screen bigger.
Oh, this is Ram Sundar.
Oh, Ram Sundar. Prabhu, I didn't recognize you. For some reason, I don't know. Now I can see Ram Sundar, Prabhu. I did. He looks like a Buddhist monk.
The power of association, Maharaj.
Yeah, he's been in Thailand so long, he's become looking like a Buddhist monk.
I've got Kishika.
Oh yes, good Shika. Krishna can catch you by the hair and pull you home. Good, strong Shika. All right, Dandavat, dear ones, we have Kumkum Devirasa here. We can ask her whether she was with Srila Prabhupada when Srila Prabhupada had his chastising the visa, or the consul, chastising the consul Leela. Were you there, Kumkum Devi?
No, Maharaj. In fact, I never even went to India until it was time the grace was granted to me to go and get darshan of Srila Guru Maharaj in, 83, I guess. So, but I'm very happy to hear that story because he was so renowned for being really strong. But his humility was that he was doing that because it was so essential to help everything. When he first came here, the political divisions were so bad, it appeared that the country was going to go into a civil war. And there was just no hope. It seemed like you had to be on one side or you had to be on the other side. But one of his early disciples was walking with him, and he told me himself, his name is Jayadvaita Prabhu. Now he's a sannyasi. And he said that they were walking and in the city, and they came upon a big courthouse building, very large building with enormous marble steps, and businessmen were walking down the steps, and they're thinking that they're doing the right thing. They're supporting what's necessary for the country. And some protesters of the Vietnam War were dressed in an entirely different way, and they were coming up the steps to engage with them in a very bad way. And Jayadvaita Prabhu said that he turned to Srila Prabhupada and just said, Prabhupada, which side are we on? And I love to think about how submissive that question is. He was a very qualified person himself, but he didn't need to have a political answer. He just had faith in Prabhupada and simply wanted to know. And Prabhupada's answer was actually incredibly soothing. Although it sounds so strong, he said, they are on the same side. They are on the side of sense gratification, and we are on the side of Krishna consciousness. And so I'm comforted to know that it can be that simple, that we can overcome the tendencies to face an impossible fight. And once there was a lady who came to hear from us about Srila Gurudev's teachings. And the reason that she came was because she ran a center that was very pious, very sweet. It was to find homes for women who were in danger, and they had small children, of death from their husbands, and they had to hide the women. And it was a very difficult thing to do, and you could tell that her life was one of sacrifice and great unselfishness. But she wanted to hear from Srila Gurudev because she said that she had been doing this for so many years and she couldn't find an answer to why, after they found the proper, safe, protective area and got them away from the dangerous situation they were in, they would come back in 1 or 2 years with an entirely different man who was threatening them. And so she felt that the shelter that they gave was only superficial. It didn't go deep enough, how to actually save people from being their own worst enemy. And so this was, I was very happy to be able to recall exactly why Srila Prabhupada and all of our teachers will say there's only so much that we can do to help people, and only Krishna consciousness can help in the perfect way, in the eternal way, where the problems don't continue to come. And actually, one thing I discovered earlier today, I'm reminded of now, I read this in Revealed Truth, and oh my goodness, where is it? I had it up because it's about, not revealed. Oh, yes, it is Revealed Truth. For some reason, that URL says Home Comfort. But this is in praise of Srila Narottam Das Thakur and his songs. And it says, Srila Narottam Thakur advises us how to engage our internal enemies in Krishna's service. We all have desires that we are suffering from, but if we engage them in the service of Guru, Vaishnava, and Bhagavan with our full energy, then they will be controlled automatically. Everything we struggle with in our life can be good if we use it properly for Krishna service. This is our hope. When our enemies, lust, anger, greed, and so on, come to us, we can invite them in. come here and pay Dandavat Pranam to the deity. You are already coming, so come and offer yourself to the deity. So very beautiful upliftment for us.
Jai. And yesterday or today, depending where we are, I expect that most of us, if not every one of us here, have been singing Srila Narottam Das Thakur's songs. And really there we are getting a solution to the questions of this world. And really in one big bucket, we can put lots and lots of things and just say, okay, that's in that big bucket. But we're coming in the march towards Krishna, the march towards the pure holy name, surrender to the Vaishnavas, association of the higher plane like this. And that is a very sweet answer that you relayed from Srila Prabhupada about the two departments, heavy departments of politics. Yeah. Oh, they're both on the same side, yes. The side of sense gratification. Yes. We are on the side of Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
That's very beautiful. So that there's a big side, that side of sense gratification. But there's a little bit, we can think a small side of Krishna consciousness, but that small side, by the power and grace of Gauranga, can have a big effect in the world for the benefit of everybody. That will benefit others. Yes. And if we think about benefiting others, really the best thing we can do is to be as good a devotee as possible. Yeah. That will help others. Mm-hmm. And on a tiny scale, we can say, we had to make some decisions with our families when we are serving Srila Gurudev in India. And when our families are in difficulty, leaving the world, then we also have to consider, what is the best thing to do. And really, I just had to look to that inner, call inside to make the decision what to do. And it really just seems so clear that what can I do by going to sit beside a departing relative? Mm-hmm. I can give my message from here, I can say from here, everything like this, but the best thing I can do is to be a good devotee, because to be a better devotee, because I'm giving up some family duty, because it is a proper family duty in the normal sense. Mm-hmm. But I'm there with Gurudev, and during a time when really it's not a practical time to leave from India, go to the West, to sit beside a bed and say, oh, it'll be all right. Mm-hmm. I can say from here and talk from here and give my good wishes from here, but serve Gurudev, serve them. So that's on like a microcosm kind of thing. But in the bigger picture, it is also the devotees who will bring some sanity to the world. The fortunate in the world will come to their sane thinking and to the sane practices of devotional life. Yes. And just by having devotees in areas, sometimes we think that if devotees didn't live here, I wonder what would have happened about in some circumstances. And really, we don't know what is what, but that thought comes that because devotees are in a certain place, then what probably should have been a bigger disaster was alleviated. And this opportunity that the devotees are there, the devotees are protected, and they are distributing Krishna consciousness. So that applies on a small scale, but that applies on a world scale too.
Yes. You remind me of what Srila Prabhupada said just before he disembarked the boat in the poem referred to as Markine Bhagavad Dharma. And that also for me was a complete answer to the political upheaval that I could see all around me, which was so distressing. And he said, I do not know how they will be able to receive the transcendental message of Vasudeva. but I am your puppet. You make a success or a failure of me as you like. You can make me dance. So the stronger is Krishna consciousness in the world, the best the result will be. We will get those opportunities to help somebody who can't find any answers anywhere else, if we can be that via media from this divine Vani.
Hare Krishna.
It's a beautiful question, Narottam Prabhu.
And especially as yesterday here was Narottam Das Thakur's appearance day, you have the name Narottam. And we automatically have been coming up with some thoughts of Narottam, as we've heard from Paramananda Prabhu. And now it is actually a good time to reflect that how did Narottam Das Thakur actually preach all over, not just Bengal, the north of Bengal, but into the state of Manipur, Assam, that whole northeastern region. It was largely through the kirtans. So the kirtans, everyone likes to sing, but the message of what is Vaishnavism, the message of love of God, the message of utilizing our energy to have the Lord at the center. How was it being spread? It was through the kirtans. And so Narottam Das Thakur's kirtans, it's not just happy music, it's actually the instructions for devotees, the guidance of devotees. And very sweet and very, yesterday, I expect many of you heard Srila Gurudev's talk that's on the web, on the Mat's website, sesmat.com. And Gurudev saying his kirtans, they're very sweet and very, very perfect, is what he also said. That what's there, it's not just making up some sweet words, it is perfect, what is there. And so Narottam Das Thakur, there wasn't the radio, television, internet and everything, but songs do catch on. And with kirtan, he distributed what is Krishna consciousness. And until today, the Manipuri people, they're famous as devotees, and that's due to Narottam Das Thakur. And this has been told by Gurudev and Guru Maharaj. And near our temple is fairly near our temple is the Manipuri temple. The king of Manipur, he arranged for a temple for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas in Navadip, and the nearest ghat with actual steps, where you go to bathe in the Ganges, not just to the bank of the Ganges, but to a ghat. The nearest ghat to our temple is called the Manipuri ghat. And if you've seen photographs of, because it's related to the Manipur temple, which is not far away from it. I don't know whether, I think they made those steps, I don't know exactly, but certainly it's the Manipuri ghat, that's what it's called. And that's from the district of Manipur, where Narottam Das Thakur brought Mahaprabhu's message, and where they do kirtan, and they're famous as kirtanias, they're famous as devotees. And that Manipur ghat, that's where Srila Gurudev bathed that time before coming to the West for one of his world tours. Then before going on the world tour, then he said, I go to the Ganges once. And then we came to the Ganges, and you've seen photographs, probably you've seen photographs of Gurudev bathing there. Mm. And one lady just came running with a chair down, a Bengali unknown lady, devoted heart. She saw a group of devotees, but she saw Gurudev, and then just saw that some special personalities, and she comes running down the bank and with a chair so that Gurudev can sit on the chair. Very sweet things like this. But that's the Manipuri ghat. And that district of Manipur, practically everyone, if everyone, we don't know, but tens of thousands of people became devotees. And so we have today preserved Srila Narottam Das Thakur's kirtans. And we have them preserved not just with words, but the substance. That means through our sampradaya. Just like Hare Krishna, all these things we should we should hear from the devotees. And so the line, the descending line of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas has preserved the heart of the songs too. And of course, that heart coming through Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj. And yesterday, at the end of that talk of Gurudev about Srila Narottam Das Thakur, then he is leading with heart Sri Rupa Manjari Pada.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. And very, I mean, of course, who am I to say very beautiful? But you only a stone, even a stone, could recognize, you know, the beauty of Gurudev's heart in singing it. And that's coming from Gurudev, who that singing is coming from Gurudev, and he is the one who very much said we shouldn't just be making sound into the ether, just throwing out sound into the ether. We should be singing, we should be feeling. Singing is an expression, love songs. The world is full of love songs, but this is, by singing we can express. And the kirtans are for that, and Narottam Thakur gave so many kirtans. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Lochan Das Thakur, yes, we know so many. But we do have the question from Narottam Nitai, and we're still in thinking of Narottam mood a little bit. And so this way, our energy can be used. Okay, we have come to the end of our hour. I think my throat has come to the end of the hour without a glass of water. And there's not even a mouse here, so I don't think I can get water without getting up myself. But I do just want to welcome Narayani Nadia Didi, who's just arrived. And we are always very happy when we see you at the beginning of the hour, but we're also happy when we see you at the end of the hour, and knowing that you do remember us. Hare Krishna. All right, so dear devotees, the clock ticketh, the clock ticks, and so let us continue in remembrance of really the important things we should do with our life. Narottam Das Thakur has pointed those out. And our tendency for politics, our tendency for anything, we shall try to convert that, redirect all of our tendencies towards Krishna consciousness. Then all will be fine. We're not meant to stop thinking, stop willing, and stop feeling. That is not the devotee's program. That's not Mahaprabhu's program. Be fully energetic, willing, feeling, and thinking, but for Krishna. And may we pray for the grace of Narottam Das Thakur of the 6 Goswamis. May we pray for the grace of Nitai and Gauranga, and of our Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga. Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sanda Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakha, Sri Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. And Jai Bhagavan, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Jai Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga ki Jai. All the present day, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda ki Jai. All the assembled devotees ki Jai. And all the unlimited Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Nitai Gora Premanandi. Hari Hari Bo. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha. Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo. Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. And Ganga Leela Didi is still engaged in kirtan, I think. I know she said it's her pranam, pranam hands, but they're kirtan hands. Nitai, and of course to Kumkum Devidasi, to Paramanandabu, and to our senior devotees, but to all of you one by one. all appreciation. Hare Krishna. Gaur
Jai Shri Bhaktiranjan Masood Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
and our Brazil devotees in plural in the middle of the night. Oh, I feel a little bad that you stay up so late, but very happy to have you with us. And at least you don't have to, I know Krishna Didi doesn't have to translate today. All Leela Shakti, they're both capable translators to Portuguese, but you can relax and hear without translation. But well done. And Priyanana also a translator, but back to basics. They can take, yes, you taking some sweat off the brow, some relief. We can just hear today. All right, looking forward to your contributions and questions also. And Narottam Nittai has put a little note in Nara Narayan in past life, Arjuna and Krishna in this life reminds me of Narottam Das Thakur, the name. Okay, I shall meditate on that until next week. In the meantime, our obeisances and appreciation for all of your feedback, your thoughts, your questions, and for being there. Each of you for being there. Much appreciated. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Muktinath Prabhu. Have a good day. I heard, who's with you today? Subhadra. Somebody's with you today.
Mohanananda Prabhu.
Mohanananda. Well, I expect you'll have a lively afternoon in your public program in the park. I look forward to hearing news of it.
Hare Krishna.
All right. Dandavat. Tutti devoti. Hare Krishna. Govinda Govinda.